Yeah.
No
So What's that? I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Welcome all to Livestream and AMA number. I don't even know what number this is anymore. We've done so many. So obviously, we toyed with the idea of spending the whole time making rabbit noises and eating carrots with a repetitive hypnotic loop in the background. I mean, it did wonders for another project, and in all honesty, probably some of the most entertainment I've ever had in my life, which shows how boring my life is. I mean, I've been on tour with Wu-Tang Clan, and I've hung out with Jay-Z. I was an employee of the investment bank that started the whole 2008 crash. I lost all my money with Luna, but surprisingly, that AMA earlier this week was the most entertainment and excitement I've had in my life. So maybe I need to reset myself. So, I've obviously practiced rabbit noises all night, but I wasn't that good. And then I realized that just ain't our style. We're the Carrot Gang. We do stuff our way, and unless we get no viewership, in which case I will revert back to making rabbit noises. Anyway, it's Friday, all. So let me do my Friday dance. I don't know whose hooligan I have commandeered here today, but I am making your hooligan famous, so it will go to the moon because Luke Skywalker has piloted it. Okay, anyway, back to the script. I wrote all this out earlier, so please forgive me if there are any errors. Damn huge announcement yesterday. MPH is back with a bang, but we never went anywhere, and we're never gonna go anywhere until we are a household name. Our job isn't done. Ain't that right, Colin?
That's right.
There you go.
Everyone across the globe will know of My Pet Hooligan, whether they're eating Fritos or it's a candy bar. We're more popular than goblins.
There you go. I didn't even know what Fritos were until yesterday, but I'm all in on Fritos now. So anyway, major announcements gone out. We announced version 1 of the alpha is going out to all holders next week, not just 888. We're being all inclusive, baby. We announced staking is going out next week, albeit some minor changes. We announced 2 of our amazing partners that will be joining us today for this live stream as well. The energy's on point. It's Friday. I don't know about y'all, but I'm extra super duper goblin buzzed right now, and I've already given you my Friday dance. So let's go over to the team. How you feeling, team? Give me a thumbs up if you're feeling good. Give me a thumbs down if not.
Feeling good. Feeling very good.
There you go. There you go. And as you might see, we've got some super special guests with us today. So let's get straight to introductions and run through our cast of heroes and name drop some stuff. Don't just tell us about the organizations you represent. Tell us about yourselves too. Let's get to know you guys. So let's start off with our super special guests and our now partners, Yield Guild Games and Delphi Digital. We got Jeff and we got Jeremy. Introduce yourselves, guys.
What's up, guys? This is Jeff. I don't know how I can follow up that radio intro or where the hell that voice came from. So what's up, Hooligan? Super excited to be here. I'm gonna need some hashtag Carrot Gangs in the chat and Discord if you're in there, please. I love spamming that chat with that. But as you have heard, my name is Jeff Holmberg. I lead asset acquisition and investments here at Yield Guild Games. All the games that we decide to partner with, I maintain control of that with our co-founders here at YGG. Very, very excited to be here. I'll give you some boring corporate context on my background. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do it in Skyhopper's radio voice. So if you want to take a nap for 20 seconds, feel free to go ahead and do that now. But I started my career on Wall Street. Actually, I'm originally from New York City. And I worked in asset management at Merrill Lynch and Goldman Sachs. Eventually went to the dark side and did municipal bond trading for 5 years, where I started learning about crypto in 2017. I probably with a bunch of you here that already have done it in 2017 as well. And then I actually made a full-time move into the crypto space in 2018, where I was one of the first non-founding hires at OpenSea, where I ran partnerships for about a year. I had moved on over to Terra Virtua after that, where I was chief strategy officer. And then rewinding a bit, I actually, maintained a very good relationship with Gabby Dizon, all the way since 2018 from my OpenSea days. And when Yield Guild Games was birthed, I obviously was really excited for Gabby, talking to him about it, and said, hey, listen, I really want to get back into investing, venture style, but I want to really stay with what I love, gaming, NFTs. I'm sure some of you probably found my wallets. I am an insane, degenerate NFT collector. I have a whole ton of Hooligans, which is a funny story, which I'll tell in a second. But yeah, that's I partnered back up with Gabby, and here I am at Yield Guild, and we've been doing absolute phenomenal. We're really trying to change the gaming space. And for those that don't know what Yield Guild Games is, we are the largest gaming guild in the Web3 space. We do operate as a DAO. That's a DAO. If you don't know what that means, it stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Essentially, unlike a corporate structure, where you just might have a team of executives making decisions, it is a community type of environment where everybody has some skin in the game and some voting rights there, and that's how DAOs operate. So very excited to be here. I do have to tell a quick story on how I actually got involved with the team, in case you're wondering. I've actually known these guys. It's a huge secret that you guys are just finding out yesterday. I've known these guys for about 6 months now that we've been talking. That's how much work has been going into some of the stuff you were about to hear today. I am so much of a dork and an NFT loser that I actually was not doing much on New Year's Day and probably addicted to work. And I actually discovered My Pet Hooligans on OpenSea. And naturally, I have to jump down the due diligence rabbit hole, no pun intended. I checked out the team. I checked out the quality. I really was loving the whole environment and satire that they have. So I blindly bought a bunch. I thought it was so cool and so attractive that even just as collectibles, I liked them. And then I realized, these guys were working on a game. It is going to have some P2E or play to earn elements to this. So the loser in me, as I was, sent them a message on New Year's Day, which is super rude. Don't do that. And I said, hey guys, listen, I'm Jeff from YGG, super intrigued about, what you guys are building, would love to chat. And the rest is just history. I linked up with Luke and West pretty early, and then had, introduced me to all the guys you see on screen, Colin and Roger, who also work on the team, just everybody. And these guys were just so gracious and generous with providing some really valuable information about their ecosystem, and I knew they had something special. So yeah, fast forward close to 6 months, we are here. And of course, my good friend Jeremy from Delphi Digital, who will be speaking in a moment, is a personal friend of mine in real life. Obviously, for those that are aware of a lot of deals that happen in the Web3 space, YGG does team up with Delphi Digital a lot when we work on both token economies and guild structure. So I thought this was a wonderful opportunity to loop Jeremy in. And ever since day one, he was hooked. And here we are. So without further ado, I'd love to pass the mic on over to Jeremy and have him give a little introduction to you guys as well.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Even harder to follow up after Skyhopper and Jeff. Big carrot cake in front of me to eat, so to say. But guys, absolute pleasure to be here. We've really been looking forward to this announcement for a long time. We put in a lot of hard work to get here, and there's still so much in the future that we're excited to share with you guys. There's a lot coming down the pipeline, so to say. But quick introduction on myself and Delphi Digital. I'll get the boring part out of the way first with Delphi Digital. We've been around since about 2018. We started off as an institutional grade research firm. A bunch of our partners left Wall Street and wanted to create the highest quality research firm in Web3. That allowed us to kind of stay on the cutting edge of tokenomics, and that put us in touch with projects that you might have heard of, like Axie Infinity, that we ended up working on. We built out the 2-token model for Axie, and then since then, it's all been uphill. We've worked across Web3, working on things like Thor, Rune, DYDX, ETH 2.0. We've also done a bit of work on YGG, and worked really closely with those guys, because just absolute class acts over there as well. And more recently, we've done a lot of work in the gaming vertical itself, which is where I find my expertise in trying to scope out the best and the brightest plays in the space, and then aligning with them. And that's the boring part. The fun part is when we actually do end up partnering or investing. That's when the work begins, so to say, where we get to roll up the sleeves and help build out tokenomics, help build out economies, strategies, and all that good stuff. So, more recently, we've worked on things like Alluvium, Member Sword, Block Lords, Metal Core, Crypto Unicorns, and a bunch of other ones that we can't announce yet. But over here, I specialize in exactly what I was just kind of highlighting there, building out token economies and thinking through game loops and getting to work alongside absolute incredible people and teams like this. And, for me, I see literally hundreds, if not thousands of games every couple months, and can't tell you how many teams I've chatted with. And I remember when Jeff, kind of flagged the Hooligans for myself, same thing, absolutely blown away by the quality of artwork. But I remember the first jams jumping on with these guys. The energy in any conversation that you guys probably pick up from like AMAs like this, whenever we have the pleasure to chat with these guys, is infectious. I've never encountered anything else like it before in all of my time here at Delphi, which has been a significant amount of time now. And from the beginning, there was no question that there was something super special here. And it's been an absolute pleasure to work alongside these guys and Jeff to lead to this moment. So I'm sure you guys have a ton of questions, so we're excited to answer those questions and dive on in. And thanks again, everybody, for showing up for this fun time.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, guys. Your checks are in the post. Oh, shit, sorry. I realized I'm not on mute. Yeah, Jeremy and Jeff, I just want to get straight into a quick question before we introduce everybody else. But, you just mentioned you've worked with some pretty prominent projects and organizations. What made MPH feel so special to you guys?
Oh, I think that's pretty evident. I think one thing that I do want to echo Jeremy on is just starting with the team, right? And I think, and I don't feel bashful saying this in front of these guys. They know how the feelings are mutual here. Just what Jeremy said, it's just the first time I actually got on a call with these guys, it was infectious. The energy was infectious. The satire, the fun, but yet the professionalism and seriousness that also matched the fun and satire is a extraordinarily rare trait. And guys, I have seen well over 1,000 games in the Web3 space since I've been at YGG, probably a lot more than that, to be honest with you. And these guys stood out like a sore thumb. Every single one of them has just a killer background and a killer resume. I would read the orange paper if you haven't yet, and just read some of the few bullet points about each one of these team members. It's like an all-star team. It's like the NBA dream team in like 1994 or whenever it was then. So was very excited to learn about their backgrounds and really learned that one of the most common elements that I think a lot of games today, at least on the P2E side, is they miss on the entertainment, they miss on the fun, and they miss on the branding. And when I chatted with the Hooligan team, it checked all the boxes, right? For me, it was something that I was really excited to learn more. And on top of it, these guys don't have an ego, right? They come in with some ultra experience with Web 2, and they had a lot of questions on Web 3, and they wanted to learn this. They were all sponges. They wanted to make sure that they were going to build an ecosystem, a game, and an environment for their players, for you guys listening in, so that it's a sustainable economy, it's a sustainable game loop, game flow, but yet has the utmost of high quality. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stop by these guys' studio. There was a couple of team members that did, and they were incredibly blown away at the size of the studio that these guys are working with. It just feels like we found, a diamond underneath a gigantic rock in this space, and more than happy to be here. And then second, touching upon the quality, seeing the amount of games that we do. There are games out there that do make a mistake of rushing to market too quick, really doing an over imbalance on the seesaw on the economic side of the play to earn economies. But the real core loop, when you look at, Call of Duty, Fortnite, or other legacy games, Mario, right? A lot of these people, they're playing for fun. It's entertaining, and they are willing to inject revenues into these economies without the beauty of the Web3 ownership of your assets and NFTs, or even play to earn economies in this. And when I saw, they showed me some behind the scenes stuff, obviously. When I saw the quality of this, it's just mind bending. And I'm laughing because I don't lie. I don't blow smoke. And it was remarkably impressive. And I can tell you, from my voice itself, from what I've seen, what they're developing, this is just one of the best ecosystems I have ever seen in the entire gaming play to earn space yet. And this is why, we wanted to really come in here, work with these guys, co-join with Delphi Digital on this, because we just think that this is going to be just a wonderful experience. And these guys have their heads on straight, where they're paying attention to the economy, they're paying attention to what you guys, the users, actually want in gameplay, and they're coming to market with known demand, is what we'd like to call it. They're building a game that is going to be fun for what you guys say. They're building this game on the backs of players, not on the backs of any type of financial incentives, revenues, royalties, etc. And it's just, it's really awesome and refreshing to be here and see that that's the mindset that these guys carry into this. And especially why, Jeremy and I here have been just doing an extraordinary amount of work with these guys, because it's been a wonderful synergy process so far.
Beautiful words there, Jeff. You should start a podcast, Jeff. You'll at least have one subscriber.
Dude, if I had the radio voice like you had, and the tones going up and down, maybe. But no, here we are. I mean, at the end of the day, I think this is just a TLDR here, guys. Like this ecosystem fucking rocks. I told you I was going to curse. I'm so excited. So sorry about that. But I can't withhold it in anymore. This is something that is going to be very fun for the long term, and I think these guys have quite the imagination to really build out some fun stuff, which I think we'll probably get into a little bit later today too.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Any words from you on that as well, Jeremy?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't want to repeat what Jeff said because he made a ton of great points, and we over here at Delphi, we have a bit of a loose checklist, I guess you could say, when it comes to building conviction in a project and, deciding if this is somebody we want to work alongside, because, when the YGG and Delphi step in, this isn't just jumping in, writing a check, and then, hanging back. This is this is very similar to like a marriage, right? We're going to be hanging out and working, alongside these guys for, the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years. So to be comfortable with that, I think says volume. So everything Jeff just touched upon there, team, product, roadmap, innovation, ability to execute, all of those boxes got checked in spades, right? Now, one thing that really struck me, though, is a lot of times the North Star in Web3, in crypto, in life, right, is money. It's to make money. You see a lot of pump and dumps, a lot of flips. You see a lot of cash grabs, scams in Web3. That's not the North Star here. The North Star for these guys, it's so clear and obvious, is to build the best project and do what's right for you guys, the community. And we've had some hard decisions to make in this process that we've gone through in kind of reworking some of the carrot stuff and reworking some of the core loops and reworking some of the stuff we have. And those decisions are hard because, they're scary. What will the community think? How will this impact things? But at the end of the day, they were able to make those decisions and sign off for them, because after a lot of debate, a lot of conversations, the decision was arrived at that it was the best for you guys. And, final point, it's like, if we're going to be, making decisions, working together, and, in this partnership for years to come, you guys, the community, are also a huge part of that. And, this was another part that we loved about the project, was you guys, the community. You guys are an extended part of the team, and you have been an awesome part of their team as well. Watching you guys be out there, watching you guys pound the table and not give up and be excited. We popped into the Discord a little bit last night, me and Jeff, and we had an absolute blast. So, huge shout out to you guys, the community as well, the Carrot Gang, for being, a super valuable part of the team that also helped us build conviction and be excited about this partnership. So, just all around 100% class act, golden carrot, if you will.
Thank you, Jeremy. Beautiful words from both of you there. So, who have we got on our cast of heroes today? How are you guys feeling?
Doing great.
Fantastic. No, this is really great. I mean, yeah, Carrot Top here, Colin. We have
Dennis Hopper, Luke.
We got West, Mr. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Dumbledore, come back.
but I think you guys can already get a sense, Skyhopper, with Jeff and Jeremy. I mean, they're just really easy guys to work with. And, you know, we've worked with a lot of top players throughout our careers. And what I found in general is that the people that are really top of their game are also just really cool people. There's a lot of people that we cross paths with that may not be the nicest people, or their egos may be too inflated. And that's usually a sign of insecurity. And so we've weeded our way through a lot of these kinds of people. And, you know, bottom line, yes, we believe we're all top of what we're doing in our craft.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're going to be working with these people a long time, years and years and years. And so, you know, these are people that, you know, it's just fun to talk about cars or music or culture and different parts of the world. But even speaking, you know, along those lines, what Jeremy and Jeff offer us is access to a global economy. I mean, truly a global economy. I mean, we're, you know, right now, a lot of this stuff, certainly we think has a global appeal, but we can't get there unless we have a team that can help open up countries like Indonesia and India and Africa. And that's for me, what really, really is a sign that you've really made it as a global brand, that cultures that we don't even share the same language, but can we share the same characters and icons in common?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's one of those things that I think when we met these guys, it was very clear. The feelings were very mutual. It was really easy to communicate. And I think we all, certainly just speaking from the AMGI side, it was one of those feelings like, all right, we need to, this is really substantial. And I do feel like this announcement, this new partnership, and Jeff, Jeremy, and all you guys over at Delphi and YGG, honestly, I feel like this does mark a very real new phase for our project. I can't begin to tell you how stoked, grateful, just pumped I am for this. And honestly, just big ups and thanks to the Carrot Gang for, you know, developing through this with us, and now kind of getting to this moment. It really is monumental, and I couldn't be more stoked about it. I'm just super grateful.
Yeah, I mean, we all definitely are on that front. And I know, you know, one question that keeps popping up that I think is really relevant right now is, you know, how do non-community members see this? It's by making partnerships like this. It's by building a stronger team. It's by, you know, getting more awareness by the people that we bring to the party, to build a stronger infrastructure, to make this thing go long term. So, you know, we always talk about, we're not here just to build something that's, you know, here today, gone tomorrow. We want this thing to be here for, you know, decades, and something that people want to continue to build on and continue to play and have value grow. And, you know, we really are just at the beginning of that journey. So, you know, this announcement, we've talked about it for quite some time. We're very excited to finally get it out there. So, you know, we couldn't be happier to be partnered up with Delphi and with YGG, you know, and their expertise. And, you know, it's a great pairing, and we're very excited to start this journey with them.
Absolutely. All right. Enough of the bromance now, guys. Let's get straight into this. Exciting news. Alpha's coming out next week. Dumbledore. Let's start with the alpha. Talk us through it. What we're going to get, what won't we get, and how excited are you to get this out?
All right. Well, I mean, first important stuff. Hat, no hat.
Always.
You guys started?
Hat, no hat. Let's see. Let's see.
All right. Coming on. When was the hat?
Let's go.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, we have an alpha build that is right now in the hot hands of some of the folks down there, and is going to the focus group this week. And I'll be honest. I mean, this is with a mix of excitement and deep fear. You do this because you know, the reality is, like, I mean, I'm coming from old school game development where you don't show anything until it's really ready to show, you know, and the choice to get this into players' hands when all I can see right now is all the stuff that we still want to do, we still want to make better, but to do this at a time when there's still there's still so much opportunity to shape it, to make it into what you want it to be. I mean, there's core decisions that we could still change if if the community gets it into the hands and says, guys, we'd really love this. There's time to do that, and that usually never happens in game development. So the part of me that sees all of the bugs and all the mistakes and everything that is still going to need to be polished, that part is kind of balancing out with the part of me that's just really excited about seeing what you guys contribute to this. I mean, because we mean it when we say that this is a partnership. This isn't just us going and dropping this thing on you and saying take it or leave it. In terms of like what's in it, the dedicated server for multiplayer is going live. This is going to be a test server, so what that means is some of the boring backend stuff, like load balancing, is not going to be in place yet, which means that the server's going to have a limited population. Right now, I've got it set to 100 users. We're going to find out whether or not, like, how it behaves under that. We're going to start figuring out what the load is. Later on, the real thing is going to be it'll be running on Linux, which will be a lot more efficient, and it'll be properly load balanced. So like if a bunch of players want to get in, you can't get in. But I'm just excited to like let people start playing the multiplayer experience, and for a lot of you guys who've never even been in this world, it's kind of incredible. I mean, just running around the city and seeing how much is in here. Weapons, we've got a bunch of them in there, a bunch more that are still coming. I'd say probably like maybe a third of the weapon population is in there. Game loops not in yet, so like we're not tracking scores. We're not giving you like goals and objectives yet. This is really about just kind of running around and playing and blowing stuff up and seeing this amazing city that these guys down here built. But I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to see it, even if like that other part of me is.
Let us know when things break. Build it with us. I mean, this is not us, like, to reiterate what Kevin is saying, we're not building this in a vacuum and then saying it's perfect, now go enjoy the perfection. No. We know there's bugs. We know there's things that need to be improved. But this is a Web3 approach. We're bringing the community into this. We're making sure that you guys know we want to build this with you. Build it together. Build it with you guys.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, some of the things that Bumbledore is concerned about are things like, guys, we got to get the UI just right. We got to get the intro menu just right. Things that, like, it's kind of a good cop, bad cop relationship where I often just say, let's just get this thing out there, bugs and all. Well, I think thankfully, cooler heads are prevailing and making sure that we're just not releasing garbage to you guys. But what's fun for me is that every time I see this game, like right now, last time we asked for more graffiti, we have more graffiti. This thing is covered with graffiti. I don't even know how many
everywhere, man.
Maybe there's 100. Awesome. It seems like there's 150 pieces of graffiti that come from you guys.
Right. And more graffiti.
More graffiti. Yeah. I mean, it really, really helps. And hopefully it's a permanent part of this game. I mean, it really helps make this world yours. And we can't say it enough. This is not a one-way street. You guys are part of the process. You are co-developers with us with this game. If you don't have the appetite for playing a brand new game, the coolest NFT game on the planet, and if you don't want to see a game that has one bug in it here and there, then don't play it. But I think if you're like me, you just want to jump in there and have fun, and then start making your own little user-generated content and hanging out with your friends, and that's for me going to be the best part: seeing screen grabs out in the world that we didn't create. And we've often said that these hooligans are no longer ours. And I know it sounds kind of corny or maybe cheesy, but it's really true. When we see what you guys do with them, that's really the whole point. It's like teaching someone a trick or a craft or a talent. Seeing someone play an instrument that's beyond what you taught them, or seeing someone do something athletically that's beyond what you can do yourself. Yeah. That's really the goal. This is not, as much as we do these AMAs, this is your show. This isn't our show. That's what this is about.
It really does become something that is so much more than what we could imagine. Obviously, we try to drive and try to create the framework to deliver this IP and these tools to you guys. But ultimately, when you guys start to build it into something much grander, I don't know. It is a true Web3 project, and I think our impetus to share with you all is very much just coming from a place of inclusion and wanting to get your feedback, wanting to share it with you, and we're insanely proud of it. So please have fun, share it.
Yeah.
Give us
feedback.
Tell us what you
know
like.
what I think. Do you know what I think is super cool about what you guys have created is so often you see so many quote unquote metaverses and virtual worlds talking about user generated content and about the ways the community could get involved. And like we just saw user generated content inside of a world, like it's there. This world is built.
Yeah.
And like for me, user generated content is meaningless unless you have a world to put it into, unless it has context, unless it all ties together. It's like you're going to be able to jump into that world with your hooligan, see your art, and then you could screen grab it, you could share it, and then you get to be a part of the project on another level as well. You get to help bug hunt, you get to help shape this thing into the content that you want it to be. And this is the real beautiful thing about Web3 is we're all engaging with this experiment that's never been done before. So just incredibly, incredibly excited and bullish on that front.
All right. Okay. Well, this is a rare treat, I guess, especially in a space filled with false promises. We're dropping something a few months in to mint, and something that's not built on an existing platform either. So what I'm hearing is you can enter as your own NFT, run around, enjoy the map. There'll be some limited multiplayer access for a bit of PvP. Yeah, I will kick all your asses. Come see me. There'll be some weapons, but really, some temporary audio, some mechanics. I know you guys are still working on camera and control, especially in different situations, whether it's like a one-on-one or whether it's a melee situation, a la the Batman game. So I know we're working on various different mechanics in terms of movements to give us that well-balanced experience depending on what game mode you're playing. Is this an opportunity for us to really kind of stress test the core fundamentals, right, Kevin?
Yes, yeah. I mean, and it's critical. I mean, it's you don't know how a multiplayer experience is going to work until you start getting a bunch of players in it, and that's on a couple of levels. I mean, just the technical level, just what can the service take, and what do you need to optimize in your network, but also from a gameplay standpoint, what's fun?
Totally.
I mean, is it how do you need to? This starts to tell us how we need to shape the gameplay and how people want to use this environment. So it's incredibly empowering to get people into the world early on, and start to understand just what's going to make this amazing. What does it want to be?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get version 1 out. Let's break it. Let's get version 2 out, and so on and so on. Key thing is keep your feedback rolling in, and let's keep building, and let's make this one of the best experiences out there. And we're in a unique opportunity here to be able to do that with your support and help. Going out to market and just throwing something out there that we think, this is the perfect game. This is all working. This is all good. The foundations are correct. We cannot be doing stuff like that in isolation. What is the point in having a community if you can't get things into the community's hands, if you can't allow them to test it, if you can't allow them to get their feedback? So when everybody goes and releases a project and you find out then there's loads of bugs, it's getting hacked, etc., we've got an opportunity now to absolutely break every release and make sure we strengthen and strengthen and strengthen every release. So when it comes time to season 1, we've got the best product out there. And I'm feeling so damn excited about this, Kevin. And I can't wait to kick everybody's asses in there because I have been practicing. All right, so Kevin, in all seriousness, we were going to release this to just 888 of our community members, and now we're thinking, what? Let's be inclusive. Let's get it out to everyone. How do you feel about that, and how is that different from your approach you used to take in the AAA gaming world?
I feel good about it. I mean, back in my misspent days, I used to do a lot of raving, and one of the things we used to talk about in the early part of that scene was the difference between a rave and a rock concert. Is in a rock concert, everybody's looking at one dude up on the stage, and the rave we're looking at each other.
Wow, that's great.
And this feels kind of more like that. This feels, so the idea of including everybody, I think it's the right thing to do. It's like, I don't want to I don't, another thing about the rave culture, we didn't believe in VIP rooms. That was for the old school clubs, but in the community you don't do VIP rooms, and so I think it's the right way to go. I think everybody who's believed in this and joined it, and should have the opportunity to be part of shaping what it is. So I don't know. I mean, it scares me.
Yeah. but it's good to have that, like, when you enter into a new space, to have that pain threshold of saying, all right, we got to totally just kind of go for it. And new innovation and new adaptation takes that jump, that leap of faith, and just going for it, And I think that your expertise that you bring to this, you're in a perfect position to say, fuck it, let's go for it, and let's figure it out. And
sometimes raves are scary, but they're also awesome.
Let's go.
And the way we fix it is by finding out what raves, and then fixing it. Just get it out there and say, "Whoa, crap! Our servers can only handle a load of 20 players." All right, well,
so let's figure out how to fix that. And
let's optimize the network traffic, and let's get load balancers going. But all these things,
Even things. Here's a question that we just came up. Like we talked about. All right, however many people can play at once, there likely will be some kind of queue, or how do we determine who gets to play next? This is something I'm just throwing this out there to the community. We're trying to figure this out. What's the ideal way to play? We want people on Discord being able to say, hey, I'm hopping off. Someone else wants to hop in. We want factions fighting against other factions. Something that's also new in this build is that we've color-coded each of the different neighborhoods. So this is the first time we actually have the first version of faction neighborhoods. And so the idea, I mean, we're still, figuring all this out. Likely you're going to spawn in future versions. Likely you're going to spawn into the neighborhood of your faction. We want these factions to be a hangout place. I really hope that there's people that in future versions that can hang out while on Discord, perhaps using Discord for audio, being able to graffiti stuff on the wall, or just hang out, make their own,
do faction raids. And, say, hey, you're a bunny, let's go get the cipher buns, and let's go after them, and use Discord to coordinate those things.
Experiment with your game loops. Get creative with it as best you can.
Get weird with it. Make your own little, make a TV show, make a 30-second, make a 1-minute little comedic little moment with these guys. Make something dramatic. And get really weird with it. And so, we talked about, people ask, what is the gameplay? Ultimately, we want some kind of SDK, some kind of open architecture where I just went through a basketball court. You want to play basketball? Sounds good to me. And so we want to have this open architecture that you guys can help determine what the games are, and more than, I'm hoping this stuff is broadcasted. So then this is the year of the NFT celebrity, that you guys and your personalities really kind of scream out from your character, all your nuances, your hopes, your dreams, your setbacks. That's all what makes you guys human, unique. And it's kind of ironic that we're really celebrating you guys as people, but in the wrapper of a bunch of hooligans running around and blowing stuff up.
And Colin brings up a really good point. As you're playing this, there's a ton of building that will continue to go into this. Let us know what you want to see. Like, it would be great if we could have, certain places where you could pick up and play a basketball game or a soccer game or whatever. But if there's things that, as you're playing this, you get this idea, let's talk about it. Throw it out to our Discord channel. Get things going. I mean, this is, the graffiti was a community suggestion, the carrot dagger community suggestion. And I know there's more that we've put into this. So we really do bring you guys into the fold as we're having internal discussions, as we're having these kinds of decisions. So we're looking for your feedback.
And you forgot about the boxing ring as well. I think last week it was suggested we have a boxing ring in there, where hooligans can just meet up and battle. And I've already seen that in there. I think it's plonked in the middle of a road though. So if you're up for a quick fight, let me know. Let's go. But
we're building a boxing ring right now, actually.
I haven't seen it yet.
All right.
Comments.
Big fight on tomorrow as well, Javante Davis, for anybody who's into boxing. But all right, sounds good. Alpha next week. everybody's going to get hold of it, talk about it, take screenshots, videos, show the damn thing off to everyone, whether it's NFT, Twitter, naysayers, your grandma, your neighbors, your pets, your postman, the police officer when they pull you over for acting like a hooligan. Let's show this damn thing off to everybody. Let's break it. Let's have some fun. And let's wait for alpha version 2, because that's going to be even bigger and better. Okay. Anything else you want to add on the alpha? I know there'll be on how to get it. Yeah.
Real quick, I know the question had come up about distribution and downloads. We have been optimizing our servers to make sure that we have the bandwidth and we have the load balancing necessary. Bear with us, but this is something that we are aware of and we are anticipating. So just wanted to address that. And you can also, by the way, one other question that came up is, can you change your NFT in the game? Yes, you most definitely can.
Yeah. Although,
all right. So there's going to be clear instructions. There's going to be a page on the website dedicated.
Well, it's true you can, but one of the things that we're talking about seriously is, later on it's going to matter what faction you're in,
right?
And so what we don't want is people going and griefing each other by run into an area, all of a sudden ping, I just go and pop into some other faction character. So we're talking about how we really want to manage that, and this is something that we'll love to talk with you guys in the community about. Also, it's how do we keep that flexibility so you're not having to log out every single time you want to go and change your character, but also just make sure that the gameplay meaningful, right? You are that that you're not just turning it into a way of cheating. I'm also not a believer in kind of pay to win. I don't want you to be in a situation where it's oh, hey, I've got 10 hooligans, so I'm just going to have a way better play experience. Totally. So yes, you can. Yeah. But there's also stuff that from a play experience standpoint that we want to figure out about how to make that great.
Absolutely. And that's where having partners like YGG and Delphi really come into play, being able to help sort a lot of these game mechanics that are really dynamic and multi-layered, complex, not issues, but hurdles that need to be addressed that just make for better gameplay.
All right. Will this be the Fortnite of Web 3?
Absolutely.
I think we're building something special that's going to be very uniquely Hooligan.
Yeah, and actually, Dave Nash, who was one of the lead designers on Fortnite, he was my lead designer on Pacific Assault.
Really?
Yeah, fantastic designer. I learned a lot from him. But cool. Yeah, so when he moved on from Medal of Honor, he went to Gears and did Gears 2 and 3, and then did Fortnite.
That's incredible. Wow.
No, I got a lot of respect.
Maybe he's a hooligan.
Yeah, he's a fantastic young man.
All right. Can I insert myself now, please? All right. So we're going to get clear instructions. We're going to understand what specs we need, release notes, feedback area on website, so we can keep everything controlled. So all of this is going to come out in advance on the new website, which is in development. One quick question, Kevin. Is there going to be a Mac build yet, or is that coming later?
I'll know that in about an hour. Because I got the Mac build machine building a client that should be able to connect to this server theoretically.
Okay, amazing.
So, short answer is yes. Yes, there's intention to do it, and honestly, if that build didn't work, then I'll figure out what's going on.
Well, get your wizard hat on, Kevin, and make some magic happen, please, because I'm sure we've got some Mac users out there, and they will appreciate getting their hands on this. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next subject, which is hot on everybody's fingertips. Staking in sCarrots. Wesley Snipes, talk us through the staking approach. Fundamentally, nothing's changed from the white paper, but we've got sCarrots instead of carrots, but will be convertible later. Thankfully, everything's been very well received, but talk us through what's going on.
Yeah, so ultimately we made the decision to push out the release of the actual carrot token in order to coincide with, closer to the release of the actual public release of the rabbit hole game. Don't know how many releases I could get into that sentence. So, and the fundamental reasoning behind all of this is ultimately we want to be able to tie the utility to the game. despite market forces, despite anything else that's going on, we're just really trying to take the long-term, value view here, and we really appreciate the reception on all of this. But ultimately, we feel like this is going to protect the value of the token and the project best and long term, and we needed to flex to this, and we think this is absolutely. We feel very confident about this decision. Now that said, you're going to be able to use carrots to buy a bunch of activations and rewards that we're offering. So we came up with a system that still gives you all of these things. You're going to be able to still earn what we're calling synthetic carrots there, or sCarrots. You're still going to be able to earn these on-chain points, and they're going to be accruing in your Genesis Hooligans. So you're going to be able to unlock these things and use these points on all the activations and rewards that we've already laid out in the orange paper. And you're also going to be able to earn them at the same multiples and the same tokenomic structures that we've laid out. We've tried to make it as close to what we've already promised you. And so that way, fundamentally, all that's really changing here is the token generation event of carrots. So any unlocked and unspent sCarrots that you still have by the time that we get to the actual token generation event of carrots, you'll be able to exchange them one for one. So that's that all makes sense. And by the way, I'm open to questions here too.
Well, and this is where we've been in deep discussions with Delphi, with YGG to make sure that we're making the best decision possible for the long-term success of the project and long-term value for all of our Genesis holders. So this definitely wasn't something to just make a quick decision on. We wanted to really think it through and think through what's going to be best for the project long term. Jeremy, I don't know if you have anything that you want to jump in on that front too, but if you'd like to, please hop on in.
Yeah, no, man, would absolutely love to jump in here. Just to explain, some of the thought processes that went into, what went into making this decision, because they have helped design a lot of different, token models for a lot of different projects. And the punchline here, guys, is we want as much utility and the right conditions, the right markets to launch things into, right? So a lot of times with a token, you see projects launch tokens, I would say somewhat prematurely, and the only utility and thing to do with the token is speculate on it, right? Now, I'm not saying that there's a lot of pumpers and dumpers and flippers inside of the My Pet Hooligans community. I think quite the opposite. But however, once you open that speculation up to a free market, especially in the conditions we've seen and all the recent events over the past months, we wanted to keep the utility of Carrot close to the game, so that when you're able to actually start interacting with it, you could do something with it. And so that, it just creates for a healthier ecosystem, a healthier economy, and it feels right. So, we went through a ton of different iterations and ultimately arrived with the sCarrot, which we thought was the best sort of tweak, let's call it, to keep all the same functionality in there, to keep all the same different mechanics in there, as well as encourage and stimulate a healthier ecosystem and set this project up for years to come, and to keep that momentum going. Because if we were to launch a token now and let's say the market continues to be unstable, we wouldn't want to go into a huge launch of a game with an unhealthy token. So it's just there's a lot of things to take into consideration when making decisions like this. And we felt like this was sort of the best sort of tweak that we could make to encourage all those different factors. So very, very confident and happy with the decision on this side of things. And, once again, just want to applaud you guys for making the decision, because not an easy decision, lots of conversations went into it. And at the end of the day, we felt like this is what was best for the community. So, I think you guys made a great call here.
And everybody's already ready to stack up those sCarrots, so let's keep them rolling in. And West, you've mentioned that the convertible when we have the token generation event later on before season 1 at a 1-to-1 ratio, whatever's left.
Yep.
There's loads of questions that are going to be coming through. Will we be able to see them in metadata? Will we be able to see how many sCarrots a certain hooligan holds? Will proof of pet still be a thing? Will I be able to connect my ledger because I've transferred it across to different wallets? Will there be a dashboard, etc.? And I know we've done all this thinking, and I know we've done all this working out. Do you want to talk through some of that? Because I know we will be putting out a sheet next week with all these details on it. But plenty of scenario
totally.
mapping has been done, right?
Exactly. And so first and foremost, we will be putting out a whole breakdown of the nuances and, you know, how this is all working, how the system is articulated. And that'll be coming in the coming days before the actual staking commences. But yeah, so let me think. Okay, so first one was, you know, as far as ledgers and, you know, transfers to cold storage, we've anticipated that. We're all set for that. That shouldn't be an issue. There's also going to be proof of pet is still very much in play, and all those earning multiples that we laid out in the orange paper are still been accounted for. What else did you have in there, Skyhopper? There's going to be a dashboard where you'll be able to view all of this, so it'll be much cleaner and just kind of easy to see exactly what your sum total is and how you're spending them. I saw one question come up, you know, yeah, will it be in the metadata? As of right now, and it's looking like you'll be able to see this on OpenSea in your metadata. Might need to refresh that. And I'm going to just say also tentatively, you know, we still have to work out some nuances there. So don't hold me to that, but it is looking like that will be the case. Yeah, so each Genesis Hooligan will have these sCarrots associated with them. And then if you unlock these sCarrots, then yes, you will. If you take, for example, if you purchase a Hooligan, you'll be able to see how many sCarrots that have been unlocked in it and how many sCarrots are actually usable when you purchase that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that introduces an interesting dynamic as well, right? Because a Hooligan that's got a hell of a load of sCarrots might be deemed as being more valuable than one that hasn't. So definitely stack those sCarrots. Colin, are you ready to stack?
I'm stacking, man. I'm stacking. I have so many stacked right now. Piles and piles under my desk.
Well, we
hey,
shouldn't
Jeremy.
have any stacked right now because staking hasn't gone live, Colin. So
Exactly.
hope you're not engaging in any insider trading.
If I may, real quick too, I'm just going to address one other question.
Well,
go ahead.
Oh yeah. Hey, Jeremy. There was a question that had popped up too about your experience with Axie Infinity and how that all went there. Do you have any color to add on that front?
Yeah, no, absolutely, guys. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Delphi Digital, you know, we did the token work for Axie Infinity, and you know, back when we did the token work for Axie Infinity, well, first of all, that was back in 2018. You know, totally different environment than the current environment we built now, and back then it was the best token model. You know, it gave birth to play to earn, as we know, and I say that very humbly. And so, you know, over the years, watching what has happened with SLP, what has happened with AXS, you know, we keep a very close eye on that. We work very closely with our team, and we take learnings from everything we build. And, you know, when you look at something like AXS and SLP, which is the two token model, the way I look at that is it's a tool for the token toolbox, right? Staking, another tool for the token toolbox. Yield, you know, PFPs, NFTs, these are all tools for building a Web3 project. So when it comes to something like My Pet Hooligans or any sort of new thing being built, it's not about copying and pasting what's worked before. It's about learning what has worked before, why it worked, why it didn't. And then when it comes to something like My Pet Hooligan, we go, okay, guys, how do we take those tools and build the My Pet Hooligan house, right? What are the correct things here to insert? It's not about just like, okay, two token model, that worked, bam. Staking, that worked, bam. It's okay, let's have staking, but let's, you know, thoughtfully build that in so it makes sense. Okay, we have some tokens. Is it a 1 token? Is it a 2 token? What makes sense? Let's look at the core gameplay loops. What does the economy look like? What does the next roadmap look like for the next 5 years? And how will these decisions now impact, you know, those actions in the future? So I guess the TLDR there is, you know, always learn, always be absorbing. And then when it comes time to build something new, aggregate all of those learnings and all those lessons to build the new successful thing. So I don't know if that answers the question, but
it's a perfect answer, man. Thank you. Didn't mean to put you in the hot seat. I saw a question kept on popping up, so thanks, man.
Yeah, what's the Axie Alpha? And real quick, just circling back to carrot tokens to sCarrots for a moment. One core question that came up is, will you be able to spend these sCarrots? Yes, you'll be able to spend them on all the different things that we've already outlined in the orange paper. So just wanted to clearly state that.
Yeah, amazing. And I think it's an important thing for everybody to know. You know, it's play to earn space. You know, in crypto, this is all new. This is all innovation. The only way we can innovate and go that extra step further is to learn from what's been done before. And it doesn't mean just copy it, as Jeremy was saying. And that's unfortunately what a lot of projects do. They think, oh, this works with cybercongs, we're going to do the same thing. No, we can't. We have to learn from there. We have to learn from what's come before us and adapt and adapt and adapt and innovate and actually do better than that. That's the only way we're going to push this space forward. That's the only way we're going to get better. So there's a lot of people out there, whether it's influencers or individuals who claim to be experts in tokenomics, who claim to be experts in play to earn gaming. How? What have you worked on before? Where's the experience? Where have you learned from? They're not in most cases. But what we've got here is we've got partners who have actually been in the space, who have actually been in the grind, who have actually helped some major projects and games, who've seen both sides of it. They've seen success and they've seen what's failed as well. And we're going to take all that knowledge and all that learning and apply it to My Pet Hooligan. So we're in such a great space. And, we're so happy that, we've got this level of experience on board as well. And they have the same vision as we do. And, the future is bright. The future is orange. That, by the way, that was an old... There's an old UK mobile phone network called Orange. That was their slogan, but it kind of fit well here. Anyway, sorry, West, you were saying something. Did I cut you off? Just had to get that out there. I was feeling pumped.
You're good.
Okay, cool. So
one question that keeps coming up again and again: will non-NFT holders be able to play this game? And certainly, initially, we want to give the VIP treatment to all of the Genesis holders. They're going to get all the bells and whistles and all the benefits. But I look at this game and it's so amazing. Obviously we're creating it, but I'm really complimenting the team and how amazing this game is. That feels to me like it'd be a crime to not share this game with as many people as possible. Totally. So we really do want some kind of onboarding path for people that just want to jump in and look around. Now there won't be very likely there won't be the same kind of earning mechanisms that we're going to have with all the other Genesis holders, but it would be fun to have, all kinds of different hooligans and all kinds of other characters. We're actively talking with other NFTs, other NFT communities, talking about how to bring some other characters into this rabbit hole, or different versions of hooligans. So once again, we'd restrict what they can do, but it seems like there should be a path for millions of people to play this game. That's really the goal, is how can we get as many people playing this as possible and create an economy, a carrot economy where people are buying different skins, are buying different things, different abilities to, I always talk about, I want there to be like 5-minute spray paint you can buy, 1 week spray paint, 1 month spray paint that you can buy if you really have a message you want to put up on a wall or decorate your own faction neighborhood. So I think there's all kinds of ways to work through this sCarrot economy. Someone asked, can we sell skins? Actually, I don't think that question ever came up. Can an individual NFT holder sell their own skin or create skins? It's never come up. I don't know what you guys think.
We definitely I could at least just take a first quick stab. When it comes to dialing in the token economy here, and again, when dealing with scarce digital assets, right? Obviously making cosmetics and things like that has very much been a part of our master plan. We know that we're going to have a marketplace. We know that we're going to have individual objects and essentially resource games around these objects. And these will be things that we will develop with Delphi and YGG as we, think about balancing and articulating economic system. But ultimately, that is something that will come. But I guess that's enough.
I think it's something we absolutely do want to do. It's just about the timing of being able to roll that something like that in.
Exactly.
And this game will have tons of iterations, and we'll continue to build and improve and get that out to you guys. So that would be something we would love to see eventually.
I guess a short yes eventually would have suggested.
And I just want to jump in here as well, guys.
Yeah.
And I can probably speak for Jeremy. Excuse me, sorry. The important thing here is we're building a foundation, right? There's going to be many iterations of a bunch of ideas. There's going to be a very sustainable foundation that it's really our core focus right now, building this, right? There's always going to be altercations or edits to the economy, the game flow, the style, the structure, right? when you look at some of these games, especially with like the developers or the team here today, right? As these you go into alpha and as you get into like a full game launch eventually from that, like you need to study these metrics and make adjustments as needed, right? So I think there's going to be a lot of things that are going to need to be tweaked. I mean, that could potentially come with delays, of course. They can come with early releases. It can come up with new ideas from the community. I think one of the most beneficial things here is just to always share your ideas, like no matter how little or crazy that they may seem. Like I said, talking about known demand, you know, if there's a lot of people that want to see this in the game, like these guys are going to build it for you, right? And I think there's also an understanding where, you know, obviously with us on board from the guild perspective, token economy perspective, Delphi with shaping out the economies, token shaping there, you know, this is not easy stuff, right? I think, you know, we look at a lot of games that were super popular for 3 months and then just got absolutely destroyed on economics, right? We look at some of the most popular games in the PDE market right now, and they're consistently having to micromanage their economies, make these slight adjustments, tweaks to their token shaping. This is something where, you know, it's a whole new world for everybody. We're so used to it. I know we talked about Fortnite, so we can pick on Fortnite again, but we're so used to just logging on to a server, buying stuff, owning the skins, and really not worrying about much, right? You know, but you're actually talking about live money here, live cryptocurrency that can be exchanged for fiat currency, no matter where you're from. And so, yes, shaping an economy or like a country in a game is not so simple, right? And I think the real core root of this, and this is why, you know, they delayed the liquidity of the carrots, and then we decided to go with the sCarrots for this, because it's been a humbling experience, because it seems like everyone actually accepts the fact that we moved to sCarrots for now because it makes sense, especially given current macro conditions in the spot market. But you know, this is something where to create a sustainable ecosystem while building the game, while getting new players, focusing on marketing, player growth, right? It is a constant balance and stress on the shoulders of these guys while they're trying to deliver this quality and upgrades to you. So, you know, always work with the team, give suggestions, give that feedback, whether it's positive, negative, anything. I think there's a you know, a misguiding structure in the PDE market now where a lot of developers or studios don't really rely on their community. They'll just build something that they think is cool and then try and package it and sell it. And I think as these guys continue to develop, going through like alpha testing, going through, you know, economic parameters of token staking, what you could do with sCarrots, right? The feedback from you guys, the actual users, the players, the spenders, the sellers, etc., is really going to be the, you know, northern star here on guiding them of what it's going to look like for the future, right? So when I say about getting involved and, you know, building this with the team, get involved there, because these guys will listen to you. And, you know, I also want to back them up, since we're talking about like staking initiatives, and especially when we move to like sCarrots, you will find out that long term, it's a focus on the player, right? This is not a focus on the flipper or, you know, the arbitrage, or, you know, someone that's looking forward to make a quick buck on another sale, right? They're obviously, you know, I think it was kind of a leak here, but there's, you know, going to be some kind of an extension of supply here for more players to come into the game. That's being shaped out now. You know, that's all I can say. But it is always, they're all laughing at me, but I usually do the leaks.
I'm always the guy to spill the beans on everything. Don't trust me with any secrets, by the way. No one tell me anything.
I am the same way. Listen, Colin, I am the same way. That's why I'm trying to talk fast. Let me move past this topic before I say any more on it. But obviously, you know, a slow and gradual extension of players is important. That's why when you come in from the guild side of things, like getting human bodies into this game to create a real fun ecosystem for both like Web 2 players and Web 3 players is so important, right? And when you're mixing that, sometimes it can be oil and water, right? There's a whole new environment. The Web 3 players are very acclimated to this space. Web 2 players are still trying to learn how to get wallets, right? So we all started from zero at one point, and trying to like meet in the middle and make this a flourishing ecosystem is going to be a heavy, stressful balance. And, you know, I'd be lying, or everyone would be lying if they didn't say otherwise. But I would say, you know, have some patience, that this is going to be focused on the player. This is going to be focused on a sustainable economy. This is going to be focused on, you know, long-term growth and, you know, a sustaining ecosystem of the overall game loop in itself. And a lot of the parameters or delays or things that might happen for the team are actually built and designed for your benefit. And even though you might not see it perhaps by day one, I'm sure there might be a couple people out there that are like, oh, it kind of stinks. I can't get the liquidity in the token. You will actually see that it will benefit you in the mid to long term as a player, as a collector, as well as new players coming into the ecosystem, right? And the really cool thing, the last thing I'll say on this topic is, one of the most popular thing that has come up in conversation is always making sure that the early adopters and the OG holders here are always going to have the utmost value, right? There is not going to be any dilution mechanism for this. An extension of supply that will destroy the work or the effort, the love that you have for your NFT or collectible right now, or essentially your player. We are shaping that very carefully to make sure that those that were here first are really going to feel the value and respect from that. And, but there also is a reality here that as these guys build out the game, there is going to be a need of extension of players, right? You look at the the amount of players that are playing those legacy games that I spoke about before. How is that going to work with NFTs? How is that going to mix in with the carrot ecosystem? How do you fend off people that are really going to be focused on more extraction out of the game rather than cycling it into the game? And how could that hurt OG players, right? So there's umpteen, different mentalities that we have to face when shaping and designing this out. But as we roll out some of these updates, especially on the token side, especially on the NFT side, it's at the end of the day, it's always going to be for your benefit and that sustainability that I'm talking about.
Yep. All right, so you've all
now do you all see what we partnered with YGG and Delphi?
Yeah, exactly.
No extension of Genesis characters, but we're all aware of the others, right? Okay, so lots more news coming our way. Thanks for that, Jeff, just a quick one, just going back to the kind of free to play model. And, this is something we spoke about in our orange paper. How important is that to mass consumption and making a play for the global gaming market and onboarding new players into the Web3 space? And how will it value Genesis holders as well?
Well, I think the important thing when it comes to free to play, I'm not a huge fan of free to play, especially if free to play players are garnering some type of yield or an enormous degenerate yield of earnings, right? Because it's just purely extractive. Oh, cool! I can just go make money for free, right? I don't walk into Starbucks, stand behind the counter, and expect to get a $60 check for it, right? So I think the whole ideology is giving people a taste, letting people be able to try it, but being able to focus on segregating different ecosystems between play-to-earn players and free-to-play players, right? I think we can all argue, at some point in time, we've all played a console game. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of PC players here, of course, but I'm going to use console for this metaphor here. An example is, if I want to purchase a game, I might have to buy the disc or purchase the download, the digital download of that, and it might be $50, $60, $70 USD. What happens if I just don't like the game? Maybe it could be a wonderful game. It could be an explosive game. Maybe I just don't like it. Maybe it's not my style. Maybe I got bored of it. And now I had already spent that money for something that I'm just not going to move forward in, right? And so there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come into this ecosystem and say, hey, this looks absolutely fantastic. I can see how, tons of people think this is fun, but I'm kind of, a football player or an NBA type player, for my gaming, right? So this concept might not be for me. Or it might be, I heard about the My Pet Hooligan game. It looks pretty cool. I haven't really played these types of games before. I'd love to try it and give it a taste and see if this is something that I like. And as people come in, hopefully they get impressed, enjoy the game and the ecosystem. And then, of course, they'll need to move into the side of the game where they'll have to have some skin in the game. They will have to become part of the ecosystem. They'll have to get involved in some capacity in order to have access to that earnings, right? So what this does is it really protects, it has downside protection on the token. It has downside protection on NFTs. So you're not getting this just ugly mix of flippers, extractors, people that are just coming in that don't give a shit about the ecosystem, don't care about you or the team or anybody, and saying, hey, listen, I'm going to come in here, try and extract a quick $10, every day. And then that's it. The focus here is on players, people that want to build up, the rapport in the game, people that want to build up perhaps UGC or streaming content, people that will want to, yes, earn in the game, And of course, yeah, extraction and being able to sell some, that's the whole point, right? But I think you want to build a game so much where people will actually want to inject money into the economy, right? That's how economies work, supply and demand, duh, right? But I think when we think about that, and you think about the revenues and royalties that Fortnite or even FIFA has made, working with EA Sports, it's the fact that people are purchasing these packs, purchasing these skins, purchasing these dances because they want to. It's an entertainment, right? And that really falls into the entertainment sector of the gamer versus just the extractor that it didn't even care about the quality, didn't care about the gameplay, the model, the flow, or anything. It's just the fact that I can push a couple buttons or maybe play for a few hours and take the money out. So you're going to have a fine mix of people that want to extract, want to inject, right, in a normal game. But here we're actually trying to overweight on the side that we want sticky assets, as we would call it. Players that actually stay within the ecosystem, cycle their earnings back into the ecosystem to build up the game, build up the characters, build up, whatever could be coming their way. I got to be careful what I say right now, but, a lot of cool stuff coming. And it's really about going back to the roots of what gaming really stands for: fun, entertainment, having that positive flex on your friends or, your Twitch or something. It's not about focusing on all economics and being able to just pay people as some kind of a marketing effort.
Right.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well put. I could not have said it better myself.
Jeff,
All right.
yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Right, we're talking about the alpha. We talked about staking, and you've met our new partners. So let's get some juicy questions. Wes, Big Rick, what we got coming through on YouTube and Discord?
I got a first question right here. Will we be in NFT NYC? Yes, we will be in NFT NYC. Come see us. We will have a booth. We'll have some setups for you guys to be able to play the rabbit hole if you're not a holder, right there on the spot. Come meet us in person. We'd love to see you guys. I believe we'll have some merch. We'll have some stuff there as well. And we're working with some other things to have going on there as well. So as we get closer, I'm sure sure and hope we will be able to announce those. However, if we don't, you'll just have to come to NFT NYC and come see what we have going on. But
100%. Make sure you all come in fast. Make sure you got the hoodies, the t-shirts. I know we've got a restock coming. We need to show presence out there. Everyone's going to be wearing the Bored Ape hoodies, so let's make sure we're rocking our MPH gear in full effect. And you know what? Most importantly, I think I've got no option but to be doxxed. I can't appear at NFT NYC as my hooligan. So you will get the full undoxing and unwrapping of Luke Skyhopper there as well. Let's see if you can spot me. There's a challenge.
No, he's gonna wear the hockey mask the entire time.
We do have the full suited hooligan bunny suit for you, so we'll just have to have you wear that the whole time.
Why not? All right, what other questions have we got coming in?
Yeah, I got one real quick. Just Rabix, I saw a few Radix. I saw a couple questions coming up about some of the staking specifics. So we will. I'm just going to say this: like we're going to put out a document that outlines everything, kind of the mechanisms by which Genesis hooligans accrue what. And we're still kind of working out some of the specifics there. But overall, I think we've got a pretty good handle on it at this moment. But we will share a document with you guys on it that'll explain all of that. That's it.
Next question.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say.
I'm looking for some more too.
When merch?
New
get merch.
Merch. We're gonna. I know we've been working on getting the new merch up on the Hooligan store, so that's all going to be updated soon. Definitely before NFT NYC. So as soon as we can get that up and going, we'll update everybody on that.
We'll have a little more information.
Yeah. Another question too. Any new marketing push happening? Absolutely. We have a whole marketing campaign that we've been crafting behind the scenes. Part of that was also bringing our two partners into the mix with Delphi and YGG. So as these next couple of weeks unfold, we'll continue to push more. We know more eyeballs bring more value, brings more momentum to the project. So, marketing doesn't happen overnight. It's something that is gradual in most cases until you become an overnight success. Right. So bear with us as we keep push on that front. We are working on those things, and keep telling your friends, tell your grandmas, tell your mothers, tell everybody, tell your grandpas, tell everybody about what we're doing, because we love what's happening here.
All right. Any more questions coming up? Don't be shy, everybody. You're always asking questions every day, so get them out. We've got the whole team here right now. Let's ask.
This is an interesting one for Jeff. So Jeff, one question that had come up was, what does a gaming guild do? Would you care to elaborate?
Yeah, no, that's a really great question. So what we do here at YGG is we will actually purchase tokens or primarily assets, and assets in this case would be NFTs in a particular seed round or a Series A round. We would get in early so we can compile a lot of tokens and a lot of NFTs. Not to flip, but to deploy, right? One of our main strategies here at YGG, which you can probably have all seen or can look up with Axie Infinity, is we like to compound, by bringing our army of players into these games to play and flourish into these ecosystems. So what we would do is by buying a lot of these assets, we act as more of an intermediary where we loan these assets to what we call scholars. And scholars are people that might not be able to afford an asset. They might be down on their luck in between jobs. It's basically for people that aren't able to afford the proper amount of skin into a game, that are gamers that really want to come in, game, start earning, cycling stuff back into the economy, perhaps, taking some out, of course, for themselves, just generalized earnings. But what we do is we lease these assets to these scholars and we deploy them into games. And one really cool thing about this is we have a gigantic army of players. I mean, as the biggest gaming guild and gaming DAO in the entire Web3 space, we even have sub DAOs, right? Not to get too technical here, Southeast Asia, India, Brazil, South America. We have some new ones coming out, Far East Asia, Eastern Europe. So what we will do is we will strategically place players from all these regions from around the world and get these assets into these players' hands and start to deploy them into games. So it's kind of a Kickstarter for these games to really start having a pretty decent player base into these games right at launch. Obviously when new games launch, unless you're going to pay Ninja $1 million, I think what Apex Legends did, or or HAL, I can't remember which one it was, but unless you compile that with a gigantic marketing campaign like they do in Web 2, really to get players consistently playing into your ecosystem from ground zero is a really difficult thing. This is why games don't really get a lot of traction. The economies are a little bit imbalanced because there's not enough human bodies cycling the supply and demand there. So we bring those players in here, we bring that ecosystem, and we actually will try to integrate, certain areas of like UGC, esports, as well as other type of content and marketing support that we can provide for the team here. So it's really going to touch upon a global user base right from ground zero, which is a very exciting thing. So when I know in some cases there are some guilds out there that are more focused on being extractive guilds, like more focused on the ROI, but YGG's core strategy and core value is we like to compound, having the ability or having access to tokens and or NFTs in any game is we're a deployer, right? And as you can see with Axie, the reason why we grew so big with Axie is we were constantly breeding. The earnings that we were retaining from the DAO in a profit share with the scholars, we were spending right back into the economy, via breeding, even going on the open market and buying tokens as needed if we needed to do that for breeding costs. So I guess I can, really define it as a compound guild, right? Where we want to support these games and build them up where they're self-sustainable with hopefully millions of players, right? That's essentially our goal, because focusing on coming in, retaining some of that yield through these scholars and then just selling it, that does nothing to a game. It doesn't support it, it only hurts it. We're here to help build out the ecosystem, build out the player base, build out the cycling in the economy, and of course behind the scenes, some operational work with the team of token shaping, token modeling, game loops. We've seen what are the common denominators in games that have worked, and we've seen common denominators of what's broken. And we get to share that knowledge with this team, and then alongside with Jeremy, from Delphi here. It's just an ultra powerful, whiteboard meeting every time we speak to these guys. And again, I don't want to beat it, beat it to death, but it's really all about constant effort of balancing to make sure that it's a sustainable ecosystem for the player, right? And I know it's crazy to say that. It seems so simple, but unfortunately, a lot of games do swing and miss on that by either just focusing on all entertainment and user spend, or kind of the opposite end of the spectrum with really just focusing on economics, degenerate yields. Oh, you're earning $50, $60 a day. That's just not sustainable. It will break. And we're trying to build something here with constant tweaks that will not break. And with your guidance, your suggestions, and your feedback, that's why I said even previously, it does help in the midst of these whiteboard meetings and figuring out, let's create a concrete foundation rather than one that's built on mud.
Amazing.
Wow,
Yeah.
Jeff, that was incredible, man. Thank you.
Well
Very,
said, Jeff.
very,
Well
very
said,
good
buddy.
answer to that. And I saw something that came up here that's not a question, more of a statement. One of us. Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, I listen, guys.
That's Jeremy right there with us.
I have a bunch of hoolies. Everyone knows about Bunny Soprano. It's my profile picture for Twitter. I've been a big fan of these guys. For those that may have shown up a little bit late here, but I've mentioned in the beginning that I've been talking to these guys literally since New Year's Day. Was completely enthralled with everything I saw. So I am absolutely one of you. I am one of the Carrot Gang.
Absolutely.
I am a fellow degenerate NFT collector like all of you here, and I will be looking very much forward to kicking all of your asses when this game is launched. So feel free to try and hunt me down, because even though I work in maybe what could be seen as boring financial stuff, I am a gamer at heart, and don't F with me. So I will see you guys in the game for sure.
It's gonna get heated soon.
Love it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to change my hoolie mid game because they're all gonna come after me. But I am absolutely banging on the table, screaming "One of us!" #Carrot Gang. We're here to stay. I actually have a personal collection of this myself, and I don't do that with every game that we is out in the market essentially. So this is one that I'm actually from a personal basis looking forward to as well.
All in. Okay, any more questions coming through, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say,
let's take a couple more. This has been a great session. Let's take a couple more.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, there's a question about the announcement on the YG and Delphi front announcing the partnership with Hooligans. I know, Jeff, you could talk to this. Also, we do have some things coming out next week and in the upcoming weeks. We decided to make the announcement here with our community first, and then have things stagger out in the next following weeks.
Yeah, no, I think, just to back that up, from an announcement side, it's something that we are working on, with our PR and marketing team as well. Obviously, there's a process for that. With Delphi, there's some further initiatives to get these guys speaking into the Delphi ecosystem as well. So yeah, I know we're all excited, and anxiety always runs high. We always want marketing campaigns now and release dates now and all that stuff. But there are processes to this that are professionally formulated to really have the most impact. And I think that's, where the patience game comes in, where everything is always going to be strategic from here on out, especially with the involvement of YGG and Delphi here to really hammer that impact for everybody, right? This is a really cool ecosystem. There's a bunch of people that showed up today, but we always want to make things bigger and better, right? Outside of economics, outside of development, especially from marketing and PR, right? It needs to be very fine-tuned so that, it catches the interest and eye of a bunch of new players as well.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
One question that keeps coming up is about My Pet Hooligan on IMI. And so soon
I think we can release some little alpha on this.
I always do.
Go for
If
it.
you told me not to, I would just do it accidentally.
Throwing the grenade in.
So we want to have a contest. We want to see who can make the best comedic clip or the best original clip, and the most interesting use of AR using the IMI app. So if you guys haven't downloaded it yet, download the IMI app. It's free on an iPhone. It only works on an iPhone right now. Yes, we're working hard on that Android thing, but right now it exists on the iPhone, free at the App Store, and our Hooligan comes with it as well. You may have to go to the character submenu and download it, but we'll at least have one of our Hooligans, maybe a couple of our Hooligans.
Yeah, we're aiming to have about 4 in there.
So you guys can choose to use whatever Hooligan you like. And here's the thing: if you win the contest, we will put your Hooligan first on IMI, available to you only. So eventually, as we said last time, all 8,888 Hooligans will be available on IMI. This is the first NFT collection ever to be available on an app, on a free app, I should say, where you can not only perform your own characters, perform the whole body using your face alone, but also put into any AR setting, and even record a movie and bring it into your background and record another character with your character. So it's a pretty amazing piece of software. And so we'll officially announce the details of that in the coming days.
Yep.
But we look forward to see what you guys do with your Hooligans, and the winners, once again, will have your specific NFT available on IMI and only available to you. So someone asked if like Snoop's Bored Ape is currently available in the Rabbit Hole game. Not yet, but
well, it is. It technically it is. We could bring it in if we wanted to, but
yep. Well, that's it. I mean,
We have the technology.
Right now, there's a bunch of characters that are kind of in the garage, so to speak. Right now, as you know, that there are many of these buildings here, and you can't go into the buildings. Well, that's going to change eventually. We want each of these buildings to be populated by you, by your own clubs, your own activities,
headquarters for partners that we want to bring in,
businesses, and so it seems to make sense that that the more popular NFTs we get into, not but also their own worlds, which we call autoverses. Once again, these will all fall under the umbrella of Interloop. Interloop is our metaverse, which allows all of these autoverses to be interoperable. But once we get, let's say even Rabbit Hole, once we get other NFTs in the Rabbit Hole and of different genres, of different collections, Ready Player One, we're there. We're there.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to collaborating with the best of the best. And every time we introduce a new version of this game, it keeps getting better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So the sky's the limit, but it's no longer just a dream. It exists right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm hearing, Luke, a lot of other projects are knocking on your door saying, can we get into Hooligan? Can we get into IMI? And I know you're having those conversations too. And there's some pretty big names out there, right?
That absolutely. Yeah, we got a lot of good things behind the scenes in the works that we're putting together. And as those conversations solidify, then, you know, all that will become public, and it'll be a fun day when that happens. And that day will be soon.
Yeah.
So more on that.
Amazing. And there's so much speculation about what's going on with Epic Games. I know you teased that Epic Games came to the studio a couple of weeks ago, and they're all in on what we're doing here. I know AMGI Studios was the recipient of a mega grant from Epic Games as well. Anything to talk to on that?
Yeah, I mean,
not an official partnership, but we do both like the idea that we need to increase training in the world in general. And they have, as you know, they have the fellowship program, which I'd encourage anyone who's interested in learning Unreal to apply for a Epic fellowship. But in addition to that, we at AMGI, we also are training people, interns, people fresh out of school. Those are often our best employees. I mean, occasionally you get some old guys like Bumbledore and myself, but usually it's the younger people right out of school that are hungry and open to new ideas.
Yeah.
And so that's what's happening. We did get tremendous compliments, you know, from our friends at Epic.
Well, I was going to say a little more like I guess just high level with it. We're absolutely figuring out how they're huge supporters of what we're doing, and they have been since the beginning of this company. So you know, we're figuring out what's the best way to proceed together. What's the best way that they complement us and we can work together. So again, as those things solidify, come together, those will all become known too. But there's a ton of things that we work on behind the scenes between our new partnerships. Now, you know, YGG Delphi coming out, now becoming public knowledge, these, you know, stuff with Epic that we would love to, you know, get out there with everyone. So, you know, one step at a time, we'll continue to get these things to roll out to you all. But yeah, we're very excited to continue down that road with them.
And, you know, once again, I mean, we're a growing studio. We're at about 45 people, I think, right now. And turns out that's kind of the perfect number to be very powerful, very productive, but we also can pivot on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
And we do. We literally, something will come up and we'll say, hey, can we do this? Can we hit this one thing by Friday? Can we hit this thing by tomorrow? We'll literally gather together, like old-fashioned style, in person, and we'll talk with each person. We'll have a marker board, and we'll go through what the goals are of the day, of the week. We encourage interaction, disagreement, pushback. Every single person is voting with their eyes, even if they're not voting with their voices. So that's the secret of our success, is that we're actually the perfect size to be very, very nimble. And we want to keep it that way. We are growing still, maybe 80, 90, once you get over 100, it starts to become maybe a different vibe, a different feel of the company. So we like to think of ourselves as very lean. There's no dead weight. They're out on the floor, as we say. Every single person has a unique ability, and their goal, their job, is to go 1,000 miles an hour in their direction of whatever they're really, really good at. And so that's what we have as a studio. Is we have a collection of every kind of person, and every person is very, very unique. So anyway, we're very excited about. I think we're kind of at the right place at the right time.
Amazing. All right, well, I think we're gonna have to wrap this session up now. So thanks guys and gals. Been a great session, very information rich, and everybody's very excited about next week. Thanks new partners for gracing us with your presence. Thank you community, moderators, top uppers, alpha mods, partnership leads, alpha callers, footers, goblins, Mickey D's for keeping me fed, Coca-Cola with the cane sugar for keeping me dosed up and active, and everybody else. My teachers who said I'll never make it. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it. We all gonna make it. Any final words, all?
No, I just want to say thanks for having me, guys. Really awesome to jam out, and and to all the community that joined in. You guys are the best. This is one of the most vibrant communities and loyal communities I have ever seen. So it's just really freaking awesome to be here, be a part of it, be a collector myself. So we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We have just started this party. Now that we've really found some synergies with YGG Delphi coming in with these guys, and we're just super hyped for the remainder of the year, and what these guys are rolling out. And I'm going to pressure Colin and say, stay tuned for more alpha and leaks, because the things that we've whiteboarded recently are just super badass. So sorry guys, they're going to kill me, but stay tuned. And be patient. There's a bunch of really cool stuff coming that these guys are going to be rolling out slowly but surely. And feel free to hunt me down in the game. Bring it.
Love it.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you from everything on our side. We love your support, and keep the good ideas coming. And thanks for everything, guys.
Until next time.
Appreciate you all.
Take care, guys.
Later on.
Thanks everybody.
Jeff.
See you guys.
Yeah. Keep being weird.